They both were awesome to us through COVID when it was tough to get butcher slots
Yeah,
and things like that. So that relationship,
The loyalty has been
correct,
built.
that's been so good to build those relationships as well, so that we can continue to have a butcher, because we're going to run out of butchers before we run out of meat in this
Oh, yeah,
country.
for
So-
sure. All right, welcome everyone to another episode of the American Dream Podcast. This week we have Joe with Big Woods Beef. You can go ahead and kind of introduce yourself and what you do and how you got to being in the farming and entrepreneurial side of things.
Yeah, so my name's Joe Grote. We farm. I farm with my wife and parents over by near Strand, Minnesota. So between Faribault and Kenyon, and so I'm the sixth generation on the farm. So it started in 1856. So been around there a while.
Yeah, you
we've
got some
been
big boots to fill.
Yeah, a lot of boots to fill. Yeah, no, but it's good. So and I farm with my parents. They've gotten me into the farming. It's something I always knew I wanted to do growing up, and then I went to college, got a little bit of a finance degree, and then came home after that and was able to start farming full time right away after that. So that was in 2014. So now we've been doing it 11 years, and as part of that, we've kind of expanded our farm operation. My wife and I, one of our ins on the farm was to kind of start a beef herd. We always had cattle around the farm, but never the full cow-calf operation. So we started that, and we've grown it. And then in about 2019, 2020, we started doing more individual direct-to-consumer sales. And that's, it's taken 5 years, 6 years, but it's really taken off, and it's been fun. It's a part of farming you don't always get when you get to actually interact with the people that you're selling the end product to.
Direct to.
So,
Yeah.
Explain a little bit. I mean, obviously early on, I'm assuming you were probably carrying the milk pails out, and was it full milking?
No, we always, on our operation was always, so I grew up, the farm was a farrow to finish hog operation.
Oh, sure.
And that's what it was growing up. And then we actually transitioned into just nursery hogs. And so then when we came home, we expanded our nursery hog custom growing operation, and then also added some beef cows. And so I actually come from more of a pig background, and we still have a bunch of pigs. And I really like livestock. And so that was a way for Emily and I to get started in the farm, because it's not super easy to go out and buy land or rent more land. It's competitive. You just can't do it. So I was able to do it with livestock to be able to get in on the farm. Sure. And so, it goes back to doing chores growing up. And, I like that, and so that's, but yeah, it changed a little bit with the pigs to cows. But.
Sure.
Definitely.
How did, moving into that and coming back after college, did you meet any, pushback as far as, obviously farming's changed over the years, right? Sure. It's come a long ways. What things, I guess, did you have to try to implement or change to be able to kind of, implement yourself to be a part of the farm, and then, try to differentiate yourself of just, people think of farmers, I guess, as kind of just old school, right? Like they just farm, and you've kind of taken a little bit different approach to it. But.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is to, just like in any business, like if you're going to come back to the farm, which was my mom and dad that were on the farm, you have to create a new revenue stream, right? Sure. Like it's not enough money to support two families right away. So that's where expanding the hogs was our first option with that. And then we've grown in land a little, renting some land and stuff too. But then it's like, if we're going to make a living out of this, we need to
look at other options.
Yeah, we have to find stuff. And so that's where, we did the beef cows, and we got the beef cows, and we've had so many people that have been so helpful, and I didn't know a lot. So just input from a lot of people on how to do things. And then in 2019, it's like, how can we do more? And so it's like, okay, now the next step is to sell them right to people, and so become the middleman at that point, take the middleman out. So, farming is an industry that doesn't always love change, right? It's a lot of, and there's good reason for some of that. Things have worked for a long time. Why change? But there is things that we like to try. We're always trying stuff. We're a little bit, people maybe think we're crazy. We're trying different things and trying to find new ways to do things that maybe weren't possible 20 years ago or 10 years ago.
With some modern technology.
Yeah, absolutely. With that, and just, for example, like one of the things we do with the beef side of things is we DNA test all our calves. and so that we know exactly what kind of quality of meat. So we're looking for quality of meat scores on all our animals, and so that we know which heifers to keep to produce the best offspring to have a higher quality of meat. So and we've done that for about 6 or 7 years now, and we're starting to see an uptick in people that have gotten beef from us for a long time. They're like, "Hey, what are you doing? Like, this is it's getting better. You know, it's like,
Substantially
well,
better than the next guy.
And it's not going to happen overnight, right? It's going to happen over many years, but we're starting to see some of that. And so that's just one thing, and it's kind of starting to see some results from it a little bit, I think.
With some of the drivers of that from that D2C or B2C, I mean, that like farm to consumer side of things?
Yeah, I mean, when you're just selling cattle to the open market, just taking to Zumbrota or Lanesboro, selling live animals you're just selling pounds, right?
Yep.
You're just selling pounds. That's all you're selling,
Yep.
right? And so when I'm selling a ribeye steak to my neighbor, well, that's a little bit more of it's like, I want to make sure this is the best quality that I can produce, right? Sure. And so maybe I don't care as much about feed efficiency or other things. I care more about just the end quality of the product.
The premium quality.
Yeah, and then you can also, you can charge for that, right? You're getting a premium quality product. So, yes, that's exactly right. And that's how I...
Yep. So you're able to leverage your value by adding in the premium quality, like livestock and the DNA and all that, to be able to get more money out of that.
Trying to. That's the ultimate goal. And also you're eliminating a middleman. And so maybe you can provide a premium quality product at a price that maybe doesn't scream premium quality product. It's just a competitive price because you are eliminating a packer and a grocery store markup and things like that. So
where did that idea kind of stem from? I mean, was there other people that you saw doing it? Was it something, I mean, with a finance background, obviously you have, you're more into the numbers and understand some of that stuff, or how did that kind of come to fruition?
I love numbers. I love the analytics of things and numbers on things. So that definitely played into it. But we always did just a few head a year, like 3, 4, 5. My parents always did, and we did it for friends and family, basically. Just like a lot of people get from, Uncle John down the street has a steer.
Get your quarter, calorie, or
and so we did that, and then we just kind of started to, one year we did 6, 7, 8, and it just kind of gradually grew. And it's like, hey, this is and also it was like people saying, hey, do you have more? We enjoy this product. Yeah, basically, yeah. And so then when we were able to grow a little bit and actually COVID being in the middle of it, or kind of at the beginning of when we started doing all this, was kind of it was weird because everybody didn't know where the meat was in. I don't know. There was a lot of things going on. And so people weren't going out as much and eating as much. So they were actually buying more
local,
trying to find more local stuff because they weren't going out to eat as much. So then, we saw a little uptick from that, and then a lot of those people have stuck around. And now they still buy from us now. So
all comes back to that quality. So they're not going to stick around if the quality's not there. But you built the foundation for these people to continually come back every year.
That's our hope. That's the ultimate goal, and I think we've been doing a pretty good job of it so far. So.
That's awesome.
And how have you continued to kind of build those relationships? Obviously, like you said, kind of, selling the ribeye steak to your neighbor type of a situation. Obviously, you've built a lot of relationships. Talk about like what you've done to continue to get your name out there and kind of brand out there.
Yeah, that's something that I'm not great at. And I kind of say that as like a farmer. Like, we're not always the best at like going out and promoting our stuff because a lot of times we're busy with things or it's just, but no, we've been so the big thing the last 2 years we've been at farmers markets. That's been something that just gets more face-to-face time with customers. And so you get to talk to people every week or how it works. And my parents have been great. My mom retired, and so she's kind of been a big part of the farmers market thing. So she gets a lot of the credit because she's
the face of it.
Yeah, she's way better. Yeah, she's way better at it than me. So that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
And so that's been a big part. Just in word of mouth, really. And so just selling it to people if they enjoy it. I always tell them, invite your neighbors over for a steak.
Referral.
For sure. Yeah. So just it's all relationships. So I'm just trying to keep growing that.
Do you guys butcher and pack and everything in house as well, or?
So we do not. No, we have two different butchers that we work with for all our individual cuts and individual package things. We work with Odenthal Meats over between Lonsdale and New Prague.
Sure.
And then for a lot of our quarters, we work with Herta's Meat Processing in Faribault. So we have great relationships with both. They both were awesome to us through COVID when it was tough to get butcher slots and things like that. So that relationship,
The loyalty has been
correct.
built.
That's been so good to build those relationships as well, so that we can continue to have a butcher, because we're going to run out of butchers before we run out of meat. In this country.
for sure. That's for sure.
So if you want a good job, become a butcher. There's a lot of opportunities. So.
No, absolutely.
Has it been hard to navigate some of those waters of like, as you grow, you're kind of relying on the butchers and stuff to be there, and like that, you got a lot on the line. You know, you got all the cows and you got all the customers you got to supply, and then like having that butcher kind of.
Yeah, coming up with the dates is tough. Like, like I was kind of talking to you guys, we sold out this spring. I didn't know we were going to do that. So it's like I didn't have butcher spots and animals that were going to be finished at that time. So, it was a little more difficult even when we were first getting started, and I didn't have those relationships with places where they didn't know us. And so now I feel comfortable if we had something come up and somebody's like, hey, could I get this? I think I could call in and be like, hey, could
Make
you
it happen.
just trade spots or do something. I have a little more.
You got some pull and you got that extra value.
Yeah,
in a
not
way.
even pull, but just like I have enough faith in the relationship we've built that like, hey, you help me out here and I can help you out in a different time.
Yeah, for sure.
How have you kind of dealt with? I mean, you talked a little bit about COVID. Obviously, if people don't know, beef prices have been, extremely high, both on the, I would assume, purchasing and all sides,
Yeah,
right?
all
Like
sides.
feed, all the things is all sides. How have you kind of learned to kind of grow with that or adjust accordingly?
Yeah, the weird part is, we get into we got into the direct marketing because the markets were not very good. That was hey, we got to add some value here to this product because we're not getting a good price at the market. That was another big factor. Like go back to my analytical side, like, hey, we got to do something different here. And then now we've been on ever since 2020, about a 5 or 6 year cycle of the best beef markets in the history of the country. And so that has been tougher to navigate because our prices do continue to tick up, and we're still not even at what a lot of cases you'd make more just taking it to Lanesboro or Zumbrota market and just being done with it. But we're actually doing more work and taking in a little bit less, still making money. We're not doing it for free, but I'm hoping that we're still trying to build that customer base and build those relationships. We're trying to grow. And so I don't want to be like, oh, we're not going to do it. I don't want to do it. Oh, we're not going to do it this year because I can make more money just selling them out. And then we'll see next year. Well, those people are going to, they relied on us for the meat, and they're going to go find somebody else that's more consistent. And so we're trying to stay consistent. We're trying to stay fair with everything. And so that our customers know that we're in it for the long haul and not just going to dip in and out every year based on what the prices
Make your
are.
bucks and sell and
And so I don't know. The future of the beef industry is an interesting one because there's a lot of older producers. The markets are very high. The reason for people to grow right now it's tough because the prices are good, and so everybody's selling every animal they have when it gets finished rather than keeping heifers and waiting 18 months to turn that into another calf. And so it's an interesting time, and droughts have been a big factor. I think this year's been a little better that way out west and down south. So, it's tough to. Some of the markets are kind of, you don't really know what's
for sure
driving it. But
coming from that financial background, going to school for that, has that really helped the farm? Get to that next level? Because I've never farmed or any of that stuff, so I don't know like how the financials work. But in my head, it's like seems like something very difficult to manage, and I feel like that's where a lot of these smaller hobby farms and things that have been around for so long maybe struggle in that department. You got such a gap in time when money goes in and money goes out, and like managing that cash flow because it's not really cash flow at times because it's like you get it all in like this couple months and then you got to somehow manage that through the whole year, and but you still got to be spending it. Like how is that?
Yeah, you always have to spend it, it seems like. So that never stops. That's a good question. My finance degree definitely helped in terms of just being financially literate on things and what does this mean? What does that mean? That's where that helped. So there's a value in that for sure. The thing that helped me the most is my parents started, when I was maybe a senior in high school, and just after that, being like, hey, you're coming to this meeting, our financial, because we work with South Central College in their farm business management program.
Sure.
And it's like, you're coming to this meeting. You're going through the books, and you're going to learn, because it is, I mean, they're multi-million-dollar operations, a lot of farms, and so you're running. It's a big business at that point.
Yeah.
And so it's and like you said, it's different cash flows than a lot of places. And so just being in it and having my parents immerse me in it at a young age helped a ton.
Yep.
And then just continuing to be in the business management program, work with other people, have a great account, like just you surround yourself with a lot of other people that are also, that can help you with that. And it helps you, come out on us. We work with Compeer incredibly close. They've been great to us. And so just trying to work together, but also it's one of those things where like, you just have to do it. Like, you have to be in the industry and you have to be a part of it to really know it. It's really hard to read it in a textbook. It's something that I'm super fortunate, and I don't take for granted that like my parents were in it, and they allowed me to come back and kind of see how things go or how they do things. And that's the most important part, the job experience.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely. I think that's one of the biggest things that they miss out on. I mean, I missed out on, my parents were both entrepreneurs in the sense, but I didn't get a lot of that behind the scenes stuff. Right. I mean, I've learned it since for sure, but it's definitely, I wish I knew more. This is simple lingo terms. When people start talking to you and rattling, ROI or, gross or net or all those different things, right away, you don't even, you're like,
hopping on Google quick.
Like, what's that again? Like you can't even engage in a conversation because you just feel like lost.
And then there's always levels to that too. Even when you get like here, then somebody else is always about. It's like, dang it, I don't know what that means.
Exactly. And then you kind of feel like an idiot. Yeah. That's just the way it is, right?
100%. Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think that's a huge takeaway. That being in it and truly learning it too, because even as you grow and scale, obviously you can't do everything.
Nope.
And so you have to have an accountant, but at the same day, it's important to know it so that when you talk about it, you can make informed decisions. Because at the end of the day, you have to make decisions based on what an accountant is telling you.
Yeah, you're still,
even if you don't do the day-to-day books of whatever, you're
still making the decisions. At the end of the day, like we're still making the decision. You can get advice from everybody, but and there is some risk to that. We're like, hey, I feel super passionate about this, and this is where we want to go. Yep. And so it's like, how can we make this work? It's not always like, is this smart? Because sometimes it doesn't always make sense to everybody right away.
Especially an accountant.
Yes.
They never want you to spend your money on the adventures and all the things.
Yeah, I know, it's tough. But yeah, just surrounding myself with a lot of people that are smarter than me is the biggest thing. And that helps a lot.
Oh, it does. No, 100%.
Yep. How, in the farming world, how do you know like when to improve and upgrade like equipment? And there's a lot of moving parts, and with that cash flow difference than like normal business, how is it navigating those types of waters?
That's a good question.
Because
if I ever learn, I'll figure it out. I'll let you know. I think the one thing that we've tried to do on our operation is to try to improve like one thing a year. Sure. One piece of equipment or something every year. If you can do that and make it work without borrowing too much money, then you continually have things that are turned over and not repairing all the time.
Sure.
When you fall into these years where it's like it's maybe a tougher year financially, but you don't improve things, then all of a sudden you start to compound repair bills
the wrong way.
Yeah, and so it can snowball a little bit the other way. So it's a fine line, right? And you try to kind of my dad and I always kind of have a list, like, okay,
priority
these are three things that need to probably happen in the next 3 years. Sure. And in what order, kind of see what the best deals are on or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, we're doing this year. Well, it's like, well, that's record prices. So it's like, well, maybe we do that a different year. So
because that can be make it or break it in some operations, and they're not giving away equipment these days. So
no, and we try not to get over. We try to make stuff last, take care of stuff so that we don't get too far into, we can't afford to buy new equipment really. So we're looking in the used markets a lot. It's just,
it's good to be aware of that though.
Yeah. I think that's a huge thing. I feel like a lot of farms, and this is just outside looking in because I haven't farmed, but you see some of the smaller, farms that have closed down. They haven't done that. They've ran the same tractors for a long time, and they've ran the same equipment, and that's just how they've always done it because they've repaired it. And it's just, unfortunately, the world doesn't work like that anymore. It just moves far too fast to do that.
Ends
I
up
guess
costing you money.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day,
can,
you can hate it and whatever, but that's just the way the world's moving. So I think that's really
Yeah, if you're not, like we're always trying new things and trying to grow in ways, because sometimes if you're not growing and you're staying in this, it's okay to be in a steady state for a while. I really think that's fine. But if you're not growing at some point, I don't know, then it seems like you're going backwards a little bit. You know what I mean? Because everything around you is growing, so it's tough.
yeah. Someone's out there and inventing something different or doing something a little, differentiating
Or expanding or taking a risk here or there, and they might not all pay off.
Yep.
But some of them do.
Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
so some of them pay off.
Yep.
Yep. Has there been a time that, since, 2014 coming back that you've, made a decision that was maybe you wish you could take back, or kind of a tough time, even a tough year that you're just like, man, this one was just tough. We like to, everyone has those moments. I feel like if you haven't really tried.
I got all kinds of them.
Yeah.
How long we got? I mean, you try to rent. I mean, renting ground is a lot of we've tried to rent some farms, and you try to expand that way, and you end up paying top dollar for rent.
Sure.
And then if
it's up to the market.
If you don't get a good market or you don't get a good crop, I mean, crop insurance helps, but it's like, well, then I just did a lot of work and spent a lot of money to break even, or it's like, was that worth it? At the end of the day, it's like
learn those lessons.
So that's always a tough one. Yeah, there's a lot of things that you do, and it's like, oh, I wish I wouldn't have done that, or at that time, or the idea. And I try to look at it like, well, what was the thinking at the time? Because I try not to be too hard on myself. If hindsight's like, well, at the time we thought it was a no-brainer. And it's like, well,
how do you know?
Yeah, right. And so you do, you just do the best you can. And marketing is the biggest part of that, I would say. That's where guys get hung up the most. Like, I sold my corn for $4 and now it's $4.05 today. It's like, and then everybody's doing the math, like, think how much money it's like, no. If you think it's a good thing to do that day, you live with it. And that's something my dad's always tried to say. It's like, at the time we thought it was good. It didn't turn out good, but that's okay. It's kind of almost like the process over results. If the process is good and you continue with that process, you will make right decisions more times than not. Not going to be 100%, but you will you'll be better off in the long run if you continue with that process.
Sure. What are some ways to, so back to a little bit more of the Big Woods beef. Have you done like a lot of marketing, or what are other ways, obviously going to the farmer's market that helps get your brand out? Have you done some of the social media takeaways on that and trying to engage in?
We've tried, and that's I'm just not very good at it. And so if there's somebody out there that's really good at social media stuff, wants to take over, I'll give you my passwords. We've done some different events with Twins Daily. I'm a big baseball fan, and so I'm like, who likes eating beef? Dudes that watch baseball. Like, that makes sense. So, and we've had great. We've done some different opening day events and a few things with them, and it's been great. It gets us into a different market, gets us to Minneapolis, gets us to different places. That's been good. That's probably our next step in this, is trying to get out. And right now we're it's kind of that fine line of keeping your customers, your original customers, your people that were there from the beginning, keeping them happy while also growing. And so that's where we're at right now, I would say, is kind of that middle ground where it's like, we're kind of sold out. We don't necessarily need to market, but in 3 months we might need more might have stuff in stock. And so it's kind of threading that needle. I try to post some stuff on X and Facebook and stuff just to show people what we're doing. I'd love, my goal is in the next few years to get like a day where people could come out to the farm, see the animals.
Like a customer appreciation day almost.
Yes, exactly. And we have 2 young kids, so a lot of families with kids, and so bring them out. And so that's something we've talked about, but it's just time and planning and getting it done. So.
No, I think that'd be an important part, I guess, from my stance, because I feel like that's a pretty, how you do the beef with the DNA testing and all those things. I mean, it's a pretty, I didn't even realize any of those things, but it does definitely make sense. I think that's a definite takeaway that people would find interesting on, the beef, and especially now where people, I feel like, have a definite magnifying glass on knowing where their food comes from and all those things.
People knowing where the food comes from is great. Like it's a good thing, and so we would love for people to come see, because we think that we think we do a good job, and so it's like, we want you to see and want you to be proud of where it comes from. So that's something we're looking at going forward, that we're going to do, but just when, I don't know. But,
No, it's always too many things to do.
For sure, 100%.
So,
Have you ever explored the like online sales and stuff side of things and that with the farmer market kind of deal?
And we have a website. We direct a lot of people to our website, bigwoodsbeef.com, and you can order right online, and we deliver it, within reason, 90 minutes or something, and that's been good. Just having stuff in stock and promoting that website is where I need to get better for sure.
I think that's where the huge market is for you, because there's not many people doing that.
And shipping, I've looked into shipping, and if that grew, I would definitely look into it a little bit more. It's just an avenue that's dry ice and different things. How you get it to people.
Logistics.
Logistically, I would have to bring in, and there's companies that do that, but that would be something that to look at too.
Sure.
So there's definitely room for growth in this, and there's a lot of people that are doing the same thing, and there's tons of customers. It's not like there's a shortage of people looking for beef. It doesn't seem like
Is it is one of the hardest things in your business like planning for the future in a way? Because it's not like you can just go buy more cows tomorrow and then be restocked on Wednesday. Like
100%.
You're planning for a year, maybe farther in advance, or how does that?
Yeah, so we have all our spots booked out for 2026 at the butcher shops. Yeah, that's the toughest part, is planning out and trying to figure out, like this year we were in Rochester in May. Well, I didn't know that it was going to be that awesome.
And which is great.
Yeah, it's great. But now I'm just sold out for a couple months, which is fine. But it is growing that, and part of it is, we've actually started we have about 60 cows, and we've started to calve. We always calved everybody in the spring, and now we've actually started to calve some in the fall, so that we have a continuous supply of animals that are getting finished, and that's still in the works. It's still happening. And so that's how we've kind of adjusted a little bit to trying to figure out how to keep people, because we always sold in the fall. Well, then we started selling some in the spring a couple of years ago. Well, now we have a really good spring group. And so it's like, okay, how can we keep that pipeline filled with beef? And so that's been, we're adjusting literally how we
operate a farm.
Breeding and feeding and everything gets adjusted for some of the cows based on when they're going to calve. So, there's definitely things that we've done different, but also in the future we're going to continue to find ways to make sure that we're doing the right thing and providing to people when they need it. So,
is that a hard thing to get across to the rest of the family involved in the farm, of like the change, and because that's such a hard thing to have happen, and to go from something you always did in the fall to now doing more of a year-round thing? Like, there's a lot that has to happen for that to change.
Yeah, I'm so fortunate. My parents are so incredible, and they're so helpful, and they've been so supportive for everything that Emily and I want to do. And so, not too bad, really, because the beef thing's always kind of been ours. And so, I mean, unless it's really dumb, then my dad will say, well, I should think about that again, But no, it's been a lot of it's like, hey, I think this would make sense. And everybody's like, yeah. And Emily's always great. My wife, she hears me out.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, she'll say, I don't know if that's a great idea. But then,
make you think twice.
Yeah, I know, but she's so good. She's so supportive and everything, and makes things possible. So.
That's awesome.
It's definitely a huge.
You have to have people. Right?
Yeah,
you gotta have people that are supportive and help you. And being a farm, 6th generation, so I have 2 older sisters, and I asked their advice on the Big Woods beef stuff. My sister Beth has helped me so much with the website and designing things. She's more in the marketing side of things at her job with Mayo Clinic, and so Yes, everybody gets tapped
Everybody,
down.
yeah.
Nobody's safe in the family when it
Nobody's
comes
safe,
to
yeah.
me asking questions. So everybody's gonna get tapped on, and that's how I want it. Like I want this to be a family. It's been a family farm since 1856, and I want it to be
For
way after
the
I'm
next
gone.
6
So,
generations
for
and
sure.
onwards. Yep.
Well, I think it's important that you're recreating yourself and setting it up so that it can be, right?
That's the goal.
You have to continue to innovate and change and grow for it to be sustainable when everything's
Correct.
getting more efficient and all the
Absolutely.
things. So that's very cool.
Is there any other like points that we should ask you about that maybe we don't know, or something that nobody's talking about, or?
No, I mean, I was going to say just the market evaluation of the beef industry is something I wanted to touch on, but we kind of hit it early. That was the one thing I wanted to get across to people, that it is,
A big difference.
well, it's just crazy. It's
Yeah,
just, it's
yeah,
all time
wild.
high, and I don't know how long it's going to last.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nobody knows.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, that was one thing, but no, otherwise been really good.
You can
You
finish it.
got one.
I was just gonna ask. Let's see. No, I don't.
Okay, we can just kind of wrap it up here then. Yep. All right, so with every guest we have out here, we like to kind of have them say one of the things that really motivates them, whether it's some sort of saying that's stuck with you for years, gets you excited about the day, or something you just live by that really gets you through the day.
That's a good one. No, I don't have necessarily any saying or anything that I don't know, but just trying to leave something. I guess it is kind of saying leave it better than you found it, right? And so I'm trying to find a way to leave our farm and our business for if my kids want to take it over, or anybody other, nephews, nieces, anybody, if that's something they're passionate about and they want to do. I guess that's what kind of drives me a little bit, is to continue to grow it and leave it better than you found it. And then I don't know if a lot of people that know me, I'm passionate about things, and so I put a lot of emotion in everything, whether it's baseball or farming, whatever, So I'm not good at hiding my emotions. I wear them on my sleeve a lot of times, which is good, which is fine. So I think that would be the big thing, is just trying to find a way to continue to leave it the better, better off in the future.
Well, I think that's awesome, especially with 6th generation farm and going on that far. I mean, that's just great to see that legacy continues for many years to come, and it's something that's actually it can be successful in the future, and it's not just a kind of here's this thing. So
I think you need to start documenting what you're doing and putting on social media. That's one my little takeaway to you today is, if you have that much passion and you wear it on your sleeves and you're just like all in, just put that out there. People will take that and they'll eat that up. It's crazy.
No, I appreciate that.
Snapchat, Instagram, just start recording yourself, doing your day to day, talking like.
And that's what a few people have told me, and I just feel like it's so boring. But I know it's not to them. It's something they don't see every day, and I get it. But it's like
you've done it your whole life.
Yeah, right.
So you, it's
like,
so
do you want to see me in my crappy clothes feeding steers? It's like somebody's like, yeah,
they do actually.
Right.
I even got a picture of you in the hayfield after you got done doing hay. It's black from head to toe.
Yeah, we had to reschedule the interview because we were rapid bales and it was just dusty and windy and it was miserable.
No,
but no, it's I'll send a picture of those out. Then nobody wanted to farm after that. They see that. But no, you're right. Your social media is an incredible tool to reach so many people, and that I need to do more of that. And
people buy from people they like, know, and trust. So
correct.
They're going to like you because you're all in and passionate and a good person and all these things, and you're farming and trying to do the right things. And you put that out there, it'll pay off tenfold. I know it for sure.
Right. No, I think you're right.
It's just hard to make that jump. I know. It's
I know.
commitment and
time.
consistency.
You got to remember to do it. And
That's what it is. Like, I should I should put that out there. That was kind of cool.
For sure. But we are getting to the end of the episode here. How do people find you? Like, what farmers markets are you at? What website? All the things.
Yeah.
How do they get some Big Wood beef?
Yeah, so we bigwoodsbeef.com. Our email or our emails are on there. Email me, Joe Grote. My phone number's on there. That's the best way to go about it. We will be at Rochester. We will be back in Rochester in August, I believe, just based on when we have products. We'll be in Faribault over the next month with just some ground beef and roasts and stuff for people. And then we have our big September, October, November are kind of our big months for quarters. And so we actually just sent out our big email blast to all our past customers about this next fall. So yeah, jump on the website. There's a place to order quarters, or just send me an email, reach out, ask questions, talk to me. I like talking about beef. So feel free to call.
Yeah.
awesome.
No questions dumb. So yeah.
Heck yeah. Well, let's get that appreciation day on the farm set up at sometime near in the future too here.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the goal. So
Heck yeah. Well, I appreciate everyone for listening. Remember, today is a good day for a good day.
Yep. Thanks.